been lots of sunshine, but breezy and chilly out there for your afternoon. Highs only 45 to 47. Tonight, clear, quite cold. Lows 25 to 27. For Thursday, lots of sunshine. Highs only to the lower 40s. Continue dry, cool upper 40s on Friday. Get your flu shot today. No appointment needed. Visit HamiltonHealth.com/HPG for Hamilton Physician Group locations in Dalton, Chatsworth, Eton, Varnell, Calhoun, and Ringgold. And I'm Storm Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Matt Report.
The radio 92.7.
Have a car wreck in Tennessee? Why hire an Alabama billboard lawyer for your car wreck? You'll never, ever meet that guy. Warren and Griffin work here, live here. You get to know them. You have a car wreck? Call Warren and Griffin. 265-4878, 265-4878. And let me tell you, they've got a killer thing going on right now, the hands-free Tennessee petition to save lives and make our roads safer. Put down your cell phones and just drive.
I'm the dude, that or his dudeness, duder, or El Duderino, if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Cougar Radio 92.7.
Good morning, beautiful people here in the city of Chattanooga. It's your girl Marie Mott with the Marie Mott Show. Y'all know what it is. I'm taking it from the streets to City Hall to the mayor's office. Can't leave out the police department and I guess the council too. From the valley low to the mountaintop, giving you guys a bird's eye view to what's going on here in the city of Chattanooga. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful hump day it is. It's Wednesday, meaning that we have made it to the middle of a week. The middle of the week. It's a lot going on in the city of Chattanooga, and lo and behold, that I was tempted not to go to city council last night because I felt like in my spirit it was going to be a mess. I felt like it was going to be a mess because unfortunately we are led by petty, ignorant people, and I'm just calling it what it is. People think a lot of themselves, and you know what? One thing that I'm cool with, as far as Marie Mott, I'm never offended by not being the smartest person in the room. I'm glad that I have a team of people who have the capacity to teach me every day new things. I'm not offended by not being the smartest person in the room. I don't have a team filled with people that tell me everything I want to hear, that agree with everything that I want to hear. Come on now. I have a team of people who challenge me. Sometimes they make me upset because they say things that I don't like. They say things that maybe I don't want to hear, but that's the part of having a really good team. Your team should be diverse. Your team should be mixtured, meaning that you need to have a team with elders and young people. You should have a mixture when it comes to your circle, right? Because even if you just have a circle of people your age, you're missing out on a lot of things. I'm 30. So I need to have a little bit of younger people, some of the Generation Z. I also need to have these elders, my baby boomers. I need to have them in the fold because they are seeing things. And so my young people give me the ability to have a pulse on the street. And then my elders give me the capacity to see things that in times that I have not witnessed, give me Chattanooga history. When I say 2018 was such a learning experience for me, it was more than just my eyes being open to the atrocities, the real life atrocities that are happening in the city of Chattanooga. But it was a blessing even through the hard times because there was so much that I could learn. There was so much I did learn. I learned from activists, Ayanna Clemens, Jared Story, Nathan King, Mama Tamra. I learned from Kevin Muhammad. I learned from Pastor Timothy Carruthers. I learned from Tom Cunish. I learned from Tiffany Rankins and her mother, Miss Hughley. I learned from Joel Willis. I learned from Holly, a Muskogee native. When I say I learned so much in 2018, I learned, and I wasn't offended by being around a lot of people who are smarter than me. But when folks begin to think too much of themselves and the attitude of some people, they showed us who they were from the very beginning. I'm going to put this challenge out there, right? Because we had two council persons come forward at the meeting last night stating that they won't put up with disruptions in 2019. Councilwoman Byrd and Councilwoman Coonrod, let me help you understand something you may not know. The First Amendment, there's a reason why I teach you rights. It says, this is the First Amendment of the Constitution. And let me not forget before I go forward, 800-8949 if you want to call, chop it up with me. Streaming live on Facebook as well as YouTube. The First Amendment says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibition, the restriction of freedom of speech or the exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or the press, or the right of the people to peaceably to assemble and to petition, to ask, to compel the government to redress, to take seriously, since I got to break this down for folks, to redress its grievances, meaning the wrongs that it's done towards the people. And so maybe somebody needs to get Councilwoman Coonrod and Councilman Byrd a Black Law First edition. And maybe they need to go through the Bill of Rights, starting with the First Amendment, meaning that even when you don't like what people say, and even when they come together in a group, and even when they show up to city council, you have a responsibility to listen. And you can't restrict them from peaceably assembling. You can't restrict them from the freedom of their speech, even if you're offended by it, with the exception of they're threatening your persons. So if somebody says you're a trash representative, guess what? You got to take that in stride. You got to take it in stride. There are people who talk about my radio show. They talk about me. And guess what? I don't care. I don't care. They don't stop any money from coming to me. They don't stop anything that I do in the community. People have opinions about absolutely everything, and that's fine. People may agree with me. People may not agree with me. But what we don't have a right to do, we never have a right to restrict the freedom of speech to what we want and what we would like. You can't do that. And let's go a little bit further, because again, I think, and when you say people are ignorant, you know, there's two types of ignorance, at least in my eyes. There's ignorance, meaning you just didn't know, you don't know any better. And so I have a responsibility to bring you up to speed. And then there are people who are willfully ignorant. So the people who choose to be ignorant in the face of information. So I'm going to school our council members today, and we're going to tell all the truth, because people love getting in front of the camera and only telling half of a story. And so let's go from the very beginning, because if you're not going to quote unquote accept disruptions, then we're not going to accept disruptions or recklessness from your end either. Is that fair? Would y'all say, the people? Call me and let me know. Will we say that that's fair? If you don't want any disruptions from the community, then don't come after people in the community. But people quickly forget things. And so, according to, people are already calling in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Talk to the people.
Hey, Marie Mott, this is the Donna Show. This is Donna. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's going on, Donna? Talk to me.
Well, hey, so Marie, first of all, you know, the good thing about you and I is people know we don't have the same opinions about a lot of things, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, we meet in the middle on stuff.
We agree on things.
And we
disagree. We kind of come in the middle. There's things that you and I agree on. There's some things we don't. But this morning, I'm telling you, you hit it. I'm curious when someone goes and applies and starts the process to run for office. You already know there's disruption. So my question this morning, I saw the information last night. So my question as a citizen, Marie, if I know somebody is coming to my house and somebody's bullying or harassing me, guess what I'm going to do?
Call the police.
What do you think, Marie?
You going to call the police?
I'm going to call the police, and I'm going to make a report of it, and I'm going to make a record of it. However, if I signed up for it, guess what? That's my job. That is my job. So I'm excited to see how the city council, the people that applies to, respond to this. Because if you're truly being harassed and you're being beat down, You let the system work for you. File a report. Get those police out there. Take pictures. I want to see if this is actually happening. You know what? Marie, when you sign up for that job, that's what you ask for.
Well, you know, Donna, thank you so much for your comments, by the way. But one of the things that Councilwoman Coonrod Swiftly said last year in a council meeting is that Black people need to stop depending on the system. Well, guess who's part of the system? The police. So, you know, if you're not going to depend on the police to help you, that means you got to deal with stuff in the community. And I don't recall Coonrod reaching out to any pastors. Coonrod has met at unity group meetings. We've had meetings with community organizers, and Coonrod has never, and I do mean never, NEVER in caps. She has never said any of this in the midst of NAACP, CCJ, Pastor Charlotte, Kevin Adams. We had community meetings after Tax was brutally beaten, and this never came up in conversation. I question the validity of this situation. I'm not taking it lightly, but number one, if you champion that people need to do things outside of the system, the first thing I would do, I would expect you to reach out to Kevin Muhammad and the Nation of Islam and the 10,000 Fearless, because at the least, if you didn't want to depend on the police, there are people in the community that would step up if people were following you or people were harassing you or showing up at your doorstep. There were people in the community that would step up to look after you. But in all of the instances that I've been in the presence of Councilwoman Coonrod for the last couple of months, she has never brought this up. Never. Councilman Byrd has been in several meetings. He's never brought up anything. And we've had opportunities to put everything that we feel on the table. And folks have sat there and supposedly are going through things that they haven't disclosed to the very community that they petitioned to sit down with them and work with them. Well, you can say that in public, but why don't you tell the public that we've already sat down? And all you do is bully people. You bully people in private and you bully people in public. So let's look at this history, because unfortunately the integrity is so low of people, so low. And it's not just the council persons, it's even people in their camp. But I'm going to get to that in just a second. Let's go back. We got to take a trip back in time. And let's look at this first instance. Councilwoman Coonrod had only been a councilwoman. And understand, you're a council person part-time. It's a part-time job. It's not a permanent job. It's not a full-time job. It's a part-time job. So you're only a council person for part of the week, for the most part, as far as official duties. Guess what? When you leave those council chambers, you're not a council person anymore. You're a civilian. So let me play this clip.
How are y'all doing?
All right.
Are you aware your registration's out of date? Your registration is expired. It expired in January.
My registration expired in January.
The vehicle, yes, ma'am. Do you have your driver's license?
Nah, I just was driving from the council.
So you don't have a driver's license?
Not with me.
Okay. What's your name?
Anthony Gladden.
How you spell Gladden?
Gladden.
Date of birth? Your social?
4.
Okay. Do you have ID on you, ma'am?
I had took my medicine and he brought me wine to the house.
Okay, what is your name? Say that again.
Councilwoman Demetrius Coonrod.
Okay, well, there's a lot of traffic out here. I can't hear. What's your date of birth? 12/37. 12/37. Okay, do you have insurance on the vehicle?
Yes,
Do you have it with you?
Well, grabs the family is
Well, caller, you could call back 423-800-8949. But let me go ahead and play the other clip as well. Well, hold on. I think this. Okay. Let me play the other clip as well before we go into anything further.
If you could switch drivers because you do not have a driver's license. Ma'am, you're going to have to drive. He has no driver's license.
What's your name?
Lentz.
Officer Liz.
Lentz. L-E-N-T-Z.
L-I-N-T-Z.
L-E-N-T-Z. Do you have any questions?
No, I ain't got no question. I'm just going to call Chief Fletcher.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay.
No, you have to leave. You're in the middle of the road. I don't want anybody to hit you.
Council Chief Fletcher.
That's fine.
I want to see if he can come to this site.
Right now? Okay, I'll stand by.
Okay. Or in fact, can you call?
No, I can't.
Tank Radio is.
No, I can't. Sorry.
Sure about that?
I'm sure.
Okay, so can't call the police.
I am the police.
Good morning. Talk to the people. Hello.
Oh, I'm talking to the people. That's me that you listening to on this tape. This is Anthony Gladden. So right now, what you're doing, you're talking about something that's almost a year or 2 years old. You really smiling and laughing about that. Like, what's the point? Like, what's the point in you playing that video? There's no validity in that. I'm actually right now at work in the office, gainfully employed. So that has not stopped anything that has to do with my life.
This isn't about you.
It's like
this isn't about you.
The whole time.
This isn't about you.
You've been
Thank you
on
so much. This isn't about you. This isn't about you. And so that's Councilwoman Coonrod's on again, off again, lover, brother. I don't know what he is to her, but he has a history of harassing people in the activist community, whether it's texting people like my brother, whether it's jumping on statuses to the point where Councilwoman works with my boyfriend. And it got to a point to where this man threatened my safety, threatened to show up at my house, threatened to pull up on me in traffic. And guess what? I said, okay, if that's how you feel, do that. You know, good morning. Talk to the people.
Hey, Marie, this is Donna with the Donna Show. We got cut off. I just want to give a couple of things real quick. I know you and I say this because we agree on some things, we don't agree on some things, and that's what makes our radio show so great. But secondly, I'm not after anybody. I don't care about the city council as far as anything personal. What I do care as a citizen, that they understand the role they signed up for. So my question would be this, Marie. If anyone out there feels harassed, stalked, you feel like someone's treating you unfairly, guess what? Use the system put there, document the report, and then you have tangible evidence to show the city that you're truly being harassed or beat down. So I'm not about anything like that. I want our city council to be empowered to do good work. And you can't have a few bad apples ruining it. But that's sometimes what happens, and that's life. Marie, keep up the good work. Stay focused. Don't get distracted, girlfriend.
Thank you. People talking about I'm disturbed. No, I think what's disturbing is having, first of all, people in your camp. So here's the thing. If you are the council person, you gotta be able to take the darts that come with being a council person, meaning that when people applaud you, that's okay. And then when people are not happy with what you do, that's okay too. Right? But you got to take that in stride when you want to be in the public eye. You can't be sensitive. You know what I mean? You can't be sensitive about the darts that come. You know, here it is. I've been publicly intimidated by council persons and lied on and called famously called lazy, complacent, and I need to pull myself up by my bootstraps. How quickly people forget. So the thing that my grandmother used to tell me is that, baby, you know, big dogs jump off the porch. But when you want to run with the big dogs, guess what? You got to take the consequences of what you do. You're responsible for what you say, how you treat people, and you can't throw a rock and hide your hand. You cannot do that. You can't talk crazy to people. You can't disrespect people. You can't have your family members stalking people in the community. Councilman Byrd, you can't have your baby mama cornering Tiffany Rankins at a budgeting for outcomes meeting with the mayor because she doesn't like what you're pillow talking about. Obviously, it's a whole lot of pillow talking that's going on because it's crazy to have people's spouses or significant others approaching people in the community about what people have to say about folks' leadership. Suck it up, fam. You signed up for the job. You signed up for the job. And that comes with praises and scrutiny. How can you even look at the word of God and see that Christ, they praised him one day and then they pressed the crown of thorns in his head the next week and put him on the cross and think that people aren't going to talk about you one day and love you the next. This is what comes with the territory of being in the public eye, fam. But if you're going to tell a story, tell the whole story and then tell the truth. Tell the truth that you made reckless statements and you've continued to make reckless statements. Tell the truth that you crapped on your own people, right? Tell the truth. And you didn't get on News Channel 9 and News Channel 12 and News Channel 3 and ask the entire city for an apology. You made an apology in the council chambers when it was hardly anybody at city council. The very, 2 or 3 weeks afterwards. We're going to continue to talk about it on the second half of the segment because folks got it twisted. And I mean, when I say that nobody, and I mean this, nobody is going to tell me what to say, how to say it. Nobody's going to intimidate me. Nobody's going to shut me up. Y'all messing with the wrong one. I'm not the people in your clique or your squad. Y'all stay tuned for the second half of the segment.
Chattanooga Radio, Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
A shooting and a crash just yards away from each other. The Chattanooga Police Department confirmed a man was gunned down on Ivy Street Tuesday night. Then just yards away, a person was hit by a car at Ivy and 5th. No word yet on if the two incidents are connected. The CPD is on the case. The Bradley County Sheriff's Office says a man who escaped from Hamilton County Jail made off with almost $70,000 worth of stolen equipment. Cody Dillbeck escaped from jail in Hamilton County and allegedly stole a truck, then made his way up to Cleveland before he was nabbed again. The recovery efforts continue today for the missing plane that went down near Saudi Daisy. Boat teams trawl the water searching for the wreckage of that downed aircraft. Reports say searchers know the make and model of that airplane and they know the identity of the pilot. The FAA and the NTSB have been of little help due to the government shutdown. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Hey folks, Jeff Stiles here, talk radio host and infamous technophobe. But I got to tell you, this Facebook Live that Nooga Radio does, it makes sense to me. It really does. Now, we're at 92.7 on the FM dial, but really where you need to go is NoogaRadio.com and just do the streaming audio, 8 to 10 a.m. The first hour is mostly just me just throwing commentary in on top of the news. The second hour is me frustrating and irritating you beyond all belief. NoogaRadio.com. Don't miss it. Every weekday.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Listen up, y'all. This is Ben Phillips with Home Rate Mortgage right here in Chattanooga. I'm in the business of saving people money. And if you want to save money, you need to pick that cell phone up right now. 805-9100. I just helped a doctor with a $400,000 mortgage. It closed in just 24 days. We lowered his rate by over 4%, saving his family $394,000 in mortgage interest payments. And get this, several lenders told this doctor he was stuck in his loan. What was the difference? He called the mortgage doctors at Home Rate Mortgage right here in Chattanooga. 805-9100. What would 10 minutes on the phone with Home Rate Mortgage do for you? Get that cell phone out right now. 805-9100. Let us prescribe you a better solution for you to reach your financial goals. Just give us a call right now. 805-9100 or online at homeratemortgage.com.
Turn a house into a home. Home Rate Mortgage.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
The Mud Philly Sandwich Shop on Shallowford Road across from Mountain View Service Center presents How to Speak Philadelphian and its Southern translation.
Hey, forget about it.
Hey, don't worry.
Just shut up and eat it.
Now go eat what's on your plate.
Hey, Rose, did you get the shopping cart?
Hey, Rose, get the buggy.
The Mad Philly Sandwich Shop, just off Route 153 on Shallowford Road across from Mountain View Service Center.
It's a good Philly, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
It's been lots of sunshine, but breezy and chilly out there for your afternoon. Highs only 45 to 47. Tonight, clear, quite cold. Lows 25 to 27. For Thursday, lots of sunshine. Highs only to the lower 40s. Continue dry, cool upper 40s on Friday. Get your flu shot today. No appointment needed. Visit HamiltonHealth.com/HPG for Hamilton Physician Group locations in Dalton, Chatsworth, Eton, Barnell, Calhoun, and Ringgold. And I'm Storm Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Matt Report.
The radio 92.7.
It's a whole lot of talking going on. But I figured I'd set the record straight because one of the things that I don't play half truths or whole lies. I got plenty of people in the community that have been approached by Councilwoman Coonrod and Councilwoman Bird's significant others. As a matter of fact, Tiffany Rankins came before the city council before the holidays and made Ken Smith, who is the chairperson, and Oglesby, who is the vice chairperson, aware of being cornered by Anthony Byrd and his baby mama. And the council did what? Nothing about it. Nothing about it. So let's look at this. Because maybe people don't even know their own rules. You know, the council has its own set of rules that people have to abide by. And let's look at the council person's behavior because they have a conduct rule. Conduct rule. Members of the council are expected to be prompt in their attendance of official meetings, including those held in joint sessions with the Hamilton County Commission. Such meetings shall be conducted in an orderly manner and according to the rules and procedures adopted by the council. A member may not speak until recognized by the chairperson and shall not be recognized the second time on the same subject until members who wish to speak have had the opportunity to do so. Any disorderly conduct shall be noted by the chair, and the offending member shall forfeit the privilege of the floor for the remainder of the meeting, except for the purpose of casting his vote. So let's go back because maybe we forgot what Councilwoman Coonrod did to Isaiah Moore and myself in September, 2 Black millennials trying to engage in the civic process, which is not only our duty, but because we love and we care about our city. Listen, because the news didn't show the beauty of people posted what I said, but really the shining star of that was Isaiah, my man.
How you doing, City Council? My name is Isaiah. I'm here today. I was here last week. It's something that's been bothering me since last week, and I want to ask the council, where are your hearts at? And what I mean by that is, last week we had a mother who came in about the situation with her daughter and the police officers. And as I'm listening, I'm looking at the city council, and I'm not seeing too much concern about it. Over and over, we coming down here and we are telling you all about the police here in Chattanooga, and there is nothing being done about it. Police are not being held accountable for anything that they are doing. You all say there's 2 sides to each story, but let me say this. If that was your daughter and a grown man put his hands on her, is there going to be any sides of a story, or the only thing you're going to be looking at is a grown man just put his hands on your daughter? We gotta, city council, y'all supposed to be for the people, especially the ones in the inner city communities. There's nothing being done. And I'm from the inner city communities. There ain't nothing being done. Y'all putting more police officers in the communities. What is that doing? Nothing. It ain't doing nothing. What's the VRI program? What is that's for the police? That's supposed to be helping. Y'all say that's helping, but how's that helping any of us? All that's doing is locking my people up. It's doing nothing but locking black people up. That's not helping the youth. That's not helping the black families. So I'm asking, where are y'all hearts at? Where's the heart? When are we gonna start getting onto the police about the things they doing? Just the other day, we just had a man getting called out his name, called the N-word, being harassed for just speaking up. Don't we got a freedom of speech? It's like y'all giving all the power to the police officers, but y'all usually forget they bleed just like we bleed. They human just like we human. They got a brain just like we got a brain, and they not perfect. None of us are. City council, it's time for y'all to step up, especially to those in the inner city communities, because the inner city communities are crying out for help. And like again, y'all keep turning a blind eye to it, man. And it's sad. It's sad. I'm not here to ask for your help, because honestly, I think most of everything that we say, we come up here every Tuesday, is falling on deaf ears. I truly believe that. But again, y'all supposed to be for the people. So let's start holding these police officers accountable for the things that they do. Stop saying there needs to be two sides of the story. And man, listen, they are human just like we are. They make mistakes just like we do, but they need to be held accountable, because we do. If I go and harass somebody right now, I'm going to jail. There is no investigation pending. I'm in jail. If I go rape a woman or sexually molest a woman or assault a woman, I'm going to jail. There is no investigations. There is none. Whether it's a lie or not, I'm in jail. So why is there police officers free on these streets right now being accused of the same thing? Why is nothing being done about that? I come in and I hear all this money being passed around in projects and zoning, but let's talk about the seriousness of what's really going on. It's these polices in these communities. So I'm gonna end this again to ask councilwomen, where the heart's at?
Oh, Isaiah, that's his name, the prophet.
Oh, excuse me, just a moment.
Huh.
Councilwoman Coonrod.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Isaiah. And I appreciate the question. And so, in all honesty, we're going to talk about the issues of the inner city community. And as I watch that a friend of mine, daughter got killed last night, 19, Shanquille Stanfield, not by the hands of a police officer, but by the hands of people that look just like you and I. Nobody is coming to council to hold our own accountable when every day we're slain in our own people.
I knew.
I'm not talking to you. And every day it's this same situation. It's the same. We talk about holding people accountable.
Mhm.
Let's hold us accountable. We killing each other.
Okay, we can hold ourselves.
We holding. It want to say the
Listen,
police. we want to hold them accountable.
Listen.
But you don't want to
No.
hold yourself accountable. And you're right. You come up here time and time again, but you fail to want to even listen to anything that we have to say. And secondly, until we can hold people accountable that's killing our own, what's the point of you coming up here addressing to say what we gonna do about the police department?
I'm gonna tell you what the point is, because
thirdly,
and that's crazy that you tell it's crazy that you saying this thing,
Hold
Rob.
on. Let her finish,
Again,
then you can talk.
I'm talking. Thirdly, we have all the respect. We for mutual accountability. That means for the police department, if the police is wrong. Now, had there been any charges filed, that's the difference. When you go to jail, someone has filed charges. They didn't make an accusation. That's the thing. This has been accusation and ongoing investigations for several things. They're gonna look into it. If the individual wanted to press charges, they will press charges, and then it'll be dealt with from that point on. Just like we're gonna hold people that look like you and I accountable, we're gonna hold the police department accountable.
But you're not.
But this is the
But you're not. So then you go back and talk about we need to hold accountability for what we doing. Look at the inner city communities.
Look at
them. You the city council. You the city council. Y'all put. Hold on. Y'all are putting more money. It's my turn to talk, right?
Let him finish.
Y'all are putting more money.
Y'all are putting more money
into security for these public housing, cameras, fences, gates. These children are growing up in prisons. You ain't putting nothing in the inner city communities for nothing for nobody to do. There are no opportunities for nobody in the opportunity. No, it's not.
Yes, it
no,
is.
it's not.
You
No,
just
it's not.
don't want
No, it's
the
not cool, right?
opportunity
And then it's so
that's
sad to
given
hear you
to
say
you.
that because you're supposed to come
Take
from the
advantage of
same struggle.
And I do. And that's why I know that it's available for us. And that's why I know what's out there for us. And just like I lift myself up from my bootstraps, the people in the inner city community got every right and can do the exact same thing. If we stop being complacent and lazy and stop depending on these systems, exactly.
You put the system in. You put the system in the community.
We're not going to have this meeting. Stop. We're good.
How can you no? How can you sit here and say it something like this? Oh, we gonna go back to this. Oh, we need to talk about the black on black crime, right? But put something in the communities for these kids to do when they get older.
Isaiah,
put some more positive mentors and role models around them so they can do better.
Isaiah, please, another time. Thank you, sir. It's all right, Councilwoman. It's all right.
It's all good. I'm going to talk right now. I'm going to talk right now.
You're not doing nothing. Change your block.
You don't
change your block. Change your block.
Are you allowing him to slander her?
Do something different.
Saying that she's not doing anything?
I'm trying to get everybody so you can have your opportunity to speak, including my own colleagues. Just give me a minute. All right.
423-800-8949. Oh man, lazy, complacent. I pulled myself up by the bootstraps. But you talking about people like where I'm from, East Chat, West Side, South Side, that hasn't been developed, where people are living below the poverty line. I'm talking about less than $25,000 a year, family. Howard, how do you pull yourself up by the bootstraps if you're not even at the poverty line? And your children are going to felon schools that almost got taken over by the state. And I don't get it. I don't get it. How do you do that? Everything is political, from whether or not your streets get paved, to who teaches your children and what they teach them, to whether or not you get sidewalks. Everything is political. Why would you even run for public office if you don't believe in the system? I don't get that. You want to be part of the system, but then you're telling people not to petition the system? Does that even make logical sense? That makes no sense. Don't come down here and petition the system to do anything. Do it all by yourself. But you're telling me this is what people in East Brainerd, in Hickson, Red Bank. Come on, man. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and talk to the people.
Hey, Bree. I know this is Scott. I know you and I have
talked the volume in the background. Hey, man, the volume in the background.
Sorry about that. You hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. So I know you and I have talked before about, people having opportunity to work and to actually have a trade and things like that.
Yeah.
What can you see that we can do to get programs into the inner city where, people can actually learn a trade and learn to actually do some of this, work that's needed?
I mean, our city council, they have the power to do anything they want to with the budget. So, I mean, if they want to set this money aside, it's their responsibility to figure out how to do that, if they care about giving people opportunities. But the question is does our do our council persons care?
I really think if we're waiting on the city council to do anything, it's going to be waiting a really long time.
Well, I mean, I agree with
that. There's a definite need for skilled tradesmen in Chattanooga. I mean, for everything from plumbers, electricians, tool and die manufacturers, machinists, all that. There's a group of people in Chattanooga that are being underemployed that are just as capable of being a carpenter as some kid out of Hickson or some kid out of Red Bank or Saudi Daisy. So maybe the solution is for business owners who have that need to be able to step in and somehow put together some programs where they can actually build their own workforce. And maybe that's something that business owners need to do through partnering up with people like the people at Chattanooga State or something like that.
Well, I agree.
Waiting on the city, 'cause I don't think the city's going to do anything.
But here's also the thing. Unfortunately, it's kind of difficult to get around government. And thank you so much for your comments. 800-8949. Unfortunately, in a lot of ways, it's hard to get around the government. Because even if people learn these skilled labor trades, guess what? They still need a place to employ them. They still need to be employed. Or there needs to be city contracts. But then again, we know how our city is. Our city barely wants to pay the people that works for it. Let's be real. Can we be real? They barely want to pay the guys who are already doing some of this grunt work working for the city. I talk to guys from Public Works all the time. And I do mean all the time. They barely want to pay them. If our city is not going to partner, in a lot of instances, we'll have the people who know the trades, but they're still going to leave the city of Chattanooga because nobody's going to want to employ them and then pay them well. Let's talk about how people pay people here in the city of Chattanooga. So in a lot of ways, we can go around the system for a lot of things, and I do agree with that. But still, the system has a responsibility, number one, because they take our tax dollars. Let's just be real. If you're not going to do nothing for me, then don't take my tax dollars. That's taxation without representation, fam. Don't take my tax dollars. If you're not going to put it back in my neighborhood, then don't take my money. Fair? Is that fair? I say that's fair. Let me read this because people need to understand. No title of nobility. This is the Constitution. No title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and no person holding any office. Let me say it again. And no person holding any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of Congress, accept any present, emolument, office, or title, or any kind of whatever from any king, prince, or foreign state. Title of nobility, meaning that even if you are, quote unquote, somebody in the city, a mayor, a council person, a commissioner, on a board, CFO, COO, it doesn't matter. Guess what? You don't get treated special above the civilians because of your job title. That is unconstitutional. Reading is fundamental. That's unconstitutional, fam. You can't do that. Just like you can't restrict people's First Amendment rights. You cannot do that. And what you certainly cannot do is talk and treat people any kind of way. Now, Councilwoman Coonrod, she comes from the streets. And Councilwoman Coonrod knows that there's this civic justice that we have where people pass legislation, where people go to the courts, and people do this and do that. And then there's street justice. She knows better than that. And she knows that we already can't even work through the system. And that's why we have our own, and I'm not saying a lot of the street justice is right. It's not. But you can't mistreat people out in the street who are from the street and then think that you're not going to get treated with street justice. Come on. Let's be real. You can't do that. You can't do that. You know, Councilwoman Coonrod was going super hard for the mayor last night, which was perplexing because when all of this started and I sat down with Councilwoman Coonrod about the police violence and everything else like that, you know, the thing that she recommended was that I recall the mayor's seat and go get the signatures to recall the mayor's seat. So you're telling me 8 months ago you wanted me to try to get the man out of office and now he's your best friend. You know, if you're going to tell the truth, tell the whole truth. Don't tell half the truth. If you're going to talk about people, accept and what I told Councilwoman last night, because I wasn't going to let her get away with what she said. Now, it's funny that she said gangbangers, but here's a question that I have for the validity of what she said. Since when did gangbangers start getting interested in politics? If our gang members are interested in politics, are gang members coming after you because of your policies and procedures Or are they coming after you for what you said and what you've done to them? Let me ask that question. Are you telling me that gang members out here are following you because of your policies and procedures and your civic duties? Or maybe you've consistently at every turn offended them. And I'm not saying it's right. They shouldn't threaten your safety. But I'm saying, you know what street justice is. And so you can't go out here talking crazy to the public. You can't think that you could possibly restrict my First Amendment rights unless you want me to sue the city of Chattanooga. And I would gladly do that. You can't do that either. So whatever little power you think you have, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself, family. You and Councilman Byrd. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. You have power at the consent of the governed, meaning that what little power you do have, it's given to you. It's not yours. We let you borrow it. We let you borrow it. And I'm sure you'll have a response for this. But here's a recommendation. Think before you speak. And once you open up your mouth and let those words flow, guess what? They reverberate through the universe. And the law of reciprocity says that whatsoever a man soweth, whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. And if you don't want to reap uncomforting things, then you can't say, then you got to watch your mouth. 800-8949 if you want to call. 423-800-8949 if you want to call. You want to call. Call. But this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Hurry up and call, Brandon. We got a little bit of time. Go ahead. Talk to the people.
Hey, how you doing, good sister?
What's going on, bro? You got a little bit of time.
Hey, I'm sorry, say that again.
I said you only got a little bit of time. You got to go.
Okay, cool. So, first and foremost, the only thing that I really wanted to address was that I think a lot of emotional. Hello?
Oh, man. I didn't get you, fam. I'm sorry. It was breaking up. Y'all know what it is. Marie Mott with Marie Mott Show. If no one is taking the time to tell you that they love you, I love you. Nothing you can do about that.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news. Now,
a shooting and a crash just yards away from each other. The Chattanooga Police Department confirmed a man was gunned down on Ivy Street Tuesday night. Then just yards away, a person was hit by a car at Ivy and 5th. No word yet on if the two incidents are connected. The CPD is on the case. The Bradley County Sheriff's Office says a man who escaped from Hamilton County Jail made off with almost $70,000 worth of stolen equipment. Cody Dilbeck escaped from jail in Hamilton County and allegedly stole a truck, then made his way up to Cleveland.